which I'm going to go ahead and start the recording. And then let me open up my window here. Okay. So you're taking a look at my my class right now. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the class. So you're signed up for the ITSC 1358, section 700, which basically means it's an online course. We have 12 weeks to work together. So from Tuesday this week, yesterday, through August the 13th, which is when your final is scheduled, we'll be covering the material. So basically, we're giving up 1 month. Normally your semesters are 3 months long. This one's 2 months long. So we have to compress a little bit in terms of schedule. If you want to see the schedule, I can come over here and go to the calendar. And I could click on calendar, and you all have this tool. And then over here on the right-hand side, it'll show you a list of courses that you're taking. One of them would be, of course, this Unix course. So in red here, we're doing the orientation today. If I go through and look at June, you'll notice it'll populate all the assignments due on Monday. So by this coming Monday, the 2nd, you should have all of these done. Labs 1 and 2, modules 1 and 2, and then your week 1 engineering drill. So basically, these are the due dates on everything. And what happens is on the due dates, I have a due date, which is the date the assignment is due. And then I have a deadline, which is the following week, which means you have to get everything done for any credit by the deadline. So this first week right here, we're starting back here in May, right? So on Monday, June 2nd, you're supposed to have all these done. So that's the due date. The deadline would be if you missed 1 or 2 of them and got them completed by the 9th, you would still get credit for that. After the deadline, though, I do not give credit and you can't score your stuff. So you need to be aware of that. The calendar here gives you kind of an idea of what's happening week by week. So that's June, we have July, look at August. We wrap up with module 14, and then we have our final exam scheduled on the 13th. All right, so that's just kind of a quick overview of the course in terms of the due dates. So we're accomplishing quite a bit each week. So it will be busy. It's nothing difficult, given step-by-step instructions, but it does require hours at a time during the week. So you need to set aside, I would say, a minimum of 10 hours a week for this class, to be able to read the material, do the labs, absorb it, do the exams, reflect on it, and write your engineering. All right, so quickly, the course is oriented around week and modules. So I can scroll down here and show you all the different modules. You can see the deadlines on them right here, due dates and deadlines. And if I go down, basically to the very bitter end, you'll see the final exam time. All right, so what we are trying to accomplish here, let's see, we have 14 modules it looks like we're going to get through. We have 12 weeks to get it done in, roughly 12 weeks. So that's not too bad. So some weeks, like this first week, we're going to do 1 module. And then we're going to do a second module. So I front end load the course up so that we do a lot of the work here in June, just to kind of get things started rapidly and make sure you don't get behind, and then we lighten up a little bit. Yeah. So you'll notice here, so this is week 1. Week 2, we got these things all going on here in June 9th. And then same thing here, June 9th. So we're doing 1 and 2 first week, 3 and 4 second week, and we're doing 5 and 6 third week. So that's just kind of the overall flow. All right, let's take a brief look at the syllabus. So if you click on syllabus, it gives you the syllabus here. You can see a calendar in the upper right-hand corner. It also gives you assignment weightings. So basically your grade here comes from exams, labs, watching the videos, taking the final exam, and then contributing to your journal. So my office hours are Monday through Friday, 12 to 1 p.m. I'll be further online. If you need to get a hold of me, just email me, pdavis@belmont.edu, or send me a message to Kansas, and I'll respond to that normally within. So prerequisite or co-requisite, you should have already had the 1305 operating system class. I think I've had some of you actually spring in there. Learning outcomes, you can see it's oriented toward file server. So we're going to pick up where we left off in the 1305 class on using the Linux interface commands, and then we'll drop into more detail talking about management, administration, server deployment, how to do systems initialization, how to install X Windows, how to manage Linux processes, some administrative tools such as compression, backup, and software installation. We'll talk about networking configuration, configuring network services, cloud technologies, and then we'll wrap up with security, troubleshooting, performance. So a lot of material to cover there, but nothing that can't be done if you just apply yourself. This is the textbook we're going to be using. It's called Linux Plus, Guide to Linux Certification Edition. It's available from Cengage. Technology requirements, obviously you have to have a computer with a good internet connection to be able to do this. Methods of evaluation will be a combination of exams, quizzes, labs, discussion. Read all the policies there. I'm not going to read that to you. You scroll down, here's a summary of what's happening day by day. So you can see quite a bit of material to cover, but again, if you give me 10 hours a week on this, you'll be able to catch up with it. All right, let's go back and look at one of these modules. So the modules begin with a module overview. They also begin with a brief lecture, a brief video lecture. And then once we've done those two, then we drop into and we do some reading from the Cengage ebook. From there, we do a review. From there, we do a lab. And then we do a module 1 test. So that's kind of the way things go each week, each module. So we have an overview, maybe a brief video. We have a deep dive into the book. Then we have a review on that book. Then we do the lab. Then we have a test on the whole module, including the labs and the book. And then you write the engineering journal. Now, these engineering journals is something that we use to have our students reflect on what they're doing. So this is not really a discussion like a discussion board where you say, hi, I'm Jack, and my major is this and that. This is more of a deep reflection of what you've learned. It's kind of you internalizing what you did that week, what you learned, what things you may have found easy, maybe things you found difficult. So you're going to be writing one of these entries weekly using sort of this format, student learning journal format. So you give it a date, give it a course name, and then you can answer these questions: what did I learn? What challenges did I face? How did I overcome them? What do I want to focus on next week? And then the key takeaways. So this is a summary for you to create an engineering notebook. So at the end of this class, you'll have 14 modules worth of notes, and you'll be able to take that book, that engineering book, when you move into your next class, network administration, security for IT servers, whatever it might be, and to reflect back on what you learned here. We have proven educational research that this is one of the best ways to get students to learn the material in real time, but also to remember it 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years afterwards. Because the stuff you learn in here, folks, is fundamental. This Linux has been around for 50 years. managing these servers is something you're going to do from this point out in your career. So you really need to know this stuff. So these journals are there to help you accomplish that. So do a good job on the journals because they're going to be graded pretty severely. You know, if you do a great job, no problem, you get the A. If you don't do a great job, you won't get it. Okay, let's look briefly at one of these links. So if I click on this, here's a video that I created, kind of cool, using an AI tool called Synthesis. And so the Synthesis basically takes text that I give it, converts it to an audio overview in a PowerPoint, and then puts it's a real person, but they're not really reading that. That's basically computer generated animation. It's pretty good. I think they've done a decent job on that. And so these videos are short. That one's a minute, 59 seconds. I know people don't like to watch videos for long periods, but I think there's a lot of value in these to begin the semester with. So this one, we take a dive into operating systems. But again, if you notice, it's only 3 minutes and 28 seconds. So these are not, 30 minutes or an hour-long video lecture. These are short, succinct, and good summaries of what you're learning. Now, if I go to this module 1 here and click on that, it'll say load module 1, introduction into new window. So if I click on that, that's going to go out to the Cengage where you're going to have to create an account and register. And let's take a look. So this is the Cengage menu here. You can see we have the 14 chapters that we're going to be doing. This one automatically opens up to module 1. So when you click on a link, it'll take you to the correct module. If I look at the reading activity, notice these have a due date, so these are graded. You have to click through and complete them to get the grade. The first one is just an overview of the learning objectives. So that's pretty straightforward. Second one, however, is a more detailed. This is actual ebook. So you can see right here, we have the ebook, and you just scroll left to right. A lot of information, a lot of good graphics, some URLs. So you want to read through this material. Probably the second thing you do in this chapter after you looked at the quick videos that I produced. So you just go through and do that. And when you do that, it'll give you a score based on how much you complete. And then you're good there. Below that are the activities. So I have Lab 1 simulation. Notice it says count toward grade. On this one, it says getting to know Linux, basically a true false. Not much of a lab. Then we have a review here. And then we have basically a test. Now, if I look at module 2, I have my reading activities. And here I actually have a live lab. So I've got lab simulations, but I've also got these virtual labs that we're going to be doing. So here's working with terminal. Here's one which is accessing. So if I click on that, that's going to launch an interface into a server. So I'm going to go ahead, start up the server, and that's going to open up the virtual labs that we're going to be working on. So the nice thing is you don't have to install anything for this class. Everything is done on a virtualized server. If you're interested in creating your own local server using a flash drive, I'm happy to help you do that. I can give you quick instructions. There's videos all over the internet. So if you want to run an actual version of Linux on your desktop, you can just download and install the VM Office from Oracle, and then install a copy of Ubuntu or one of the Linux distributions on top of that. So here you can say it's got the different commands. Notice over here, I've got 3 servers. I can power on Linux. I can power on a second Linux. So you can see right now it's booting up remotely. So these are live servers that you're using. They're not simulations. There is a simulation, but this one here in particular is a live. And so in this case, we would be doing the labs. There we go. So here you can see this is Linux machine. This is Linux 01. I can click on this. This is Linux machine 02. And I can always go into terminal mode. Do my Linux command. This one here is a Windows machine, so you can see how to interface between Windows here. All right, so my point being that from the Canvas shell, these links are set up to take you right into Cengage. Now, the Cengage, you have to register for that, which I've already had quite a few students already do that and get signed up. So I can look in the grade book at my roster. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of you have already signed up for it. Notice I've got license, I've got trial access, I've got people that have already paid the license. As I explained in the email, they do provide you with a 21-day free trial. So the Cengage book that we're going to use. So if you're in between paychecks or you need to wait a minute to get your tuition money back from grants or award, you have basically 3 weeks so we can get the course started, get doing, keep everything up to date. And once you get the funds, then you go ahead and purchase the book, and the trial access goes away and have a valid license. The nice thing is it doesn't hold you back from getting stuff. All right, so that's the Linux. Notice there are some review options here: a PowerPoint deck, flashcards, and a practice. So these are just some things that you can do for extra preparation. Notice a grade is not kept for these. So if it says counts towards grade has the orange dot on it, then that means you must do that one. You have to get a grade on it. Over here you have a score. The ones that don't have the orange dot, but they do have the due date, those are optional. You don't have to do those. I recommend that you do take the journal, but they're not, don't have to. Here we have the review test. So both of these need to be done and counted for. Module 3, pretty much the same thing, reading. You have labs. These 3 labs here all count for grade. You have a review, the optional practice, and then you have a test where it does count for. And then that's pretty much the same methodology throughout all the semesters. And so these links that I have for you here go straight to the actual lab. So you don't want to have to hunt around. I've actually got them pre-week where it will take you right to the drill you want to work on for that. All right. So that is everything on how to access that. If you need to know how to create a Cengage account and purchase the ebook, there is a website, I think with a video right here, show you how to register. You shouldn't need a key or anything because this class is linked. So as long as you come from this Cengage on this Canvas course, click on one of the links, it'll automatically take you to the right section that you're going to get enrolled. Let's see. Early on, some people need help. Some things I can help you with, some things I cannot. You have to go to Cengage. So I have a link here at the top, Open Cengage Help Desk. I can tell you the company that's publisher is very, very well supported. If you have technical problems, particularly with like you're doing something with the virtual labs and the virtual lab's not connecting or it's giving you a problem with the browser, whatever, just go over here to support EA, click on student. You'll create an account you have to have anyway. Go ahead and click on that, and then it'll give you choices to email, talk to them during office hours, or chat with them online. So, all right. So we're about out of time. So anybody have any questions very quickly?
I do.
Yeah.
I saw that you were pointing out your roster. I did sign up for Zengage yesterday, but I
Uh-huh.
didn't see my name on there. I just want to confirm that I am part of the same class.
Okay. Send me an email and I'll check on it right after we hang up here.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, thank you, Raphael. Okay. Anybody else?
I have a question.
Yeah,
So
Tyler?
the Zoom meetings, they're not on a particular day or time. They're just you're gonna let us know when it is beforehand.
Yeah, I will. What I'll do is I'll look at my calendar for the semester and I'll look at the dates available and I'll try to schedule them for those dates.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Are you okay if I send you my work schedule so I can better attend these Zoom meetings?
Yes, that would be great.
All right, thank you.
I try to hit that 12 to 1 o'clock because for most people, if they're working, that's a lunch break. But it may not be for you. You may not have lunch breaks in. You might be working, a shift from 2 to 10, something like that. So if the 12 to 1 doesn't work for you, just send me a note and I'll try to schedule around that if I can. And of course, I'm always happy to deal with y'all one-on-one. Doesn't have to be the whole class present. A lot of people will have some issues maybe early in the semester or a little bit later. And I'm happy to give you a one-on-one session for those. Basically, I just want to do whatever it takes to get everybody through with an A. This course being so well designed and so well supplemented, I should say, there's no reason that you can't do this at home, at work, on the road. If you give me that 10 hours a week, follow my methodology on this thing, no reason you can't learn it. No reason you can't make it. Anthony, Tyler, Jesse, Sean, and Raphael, thank you very much for coming today. I hope you got something out of this. I will post this on the website as a recording pretty quickly here. And we'll see y'all again. So get that Cengage account going and make sure you get signed in, enrolled, and everything's good. Take care, everyone.
Yes, sir. You have a good one.
Thank you.